and we are ready to rock and roll. Let's get to it. Let me open this up. All right, so the future is bright. You know, I think that it's important that we talk a little bit about what we see in terms of these AI projects, because these are some of the most interesting projects that are being built either on Solana or on Ethereum or on the Cosmos ecosystem. We've got a bunch of big data AI projects that I think are going to really revolutionize the way that we interact with crypto and blockchain in general. So number one, we've got the Render network. This is a decentralized GPU compute network. Number two, we've got Fetch. Number three, we've got BitTensor Tau. Now, these are not, this is not an exhaustive list by any means, but these are three that I would really like to focus on a little bit today, because there are plenty of amazing pools that we can enter that contain these assets. And Render network, I just want to share a little bit of maybe dubious speculation here around Render. So Render on May 7th, their parent company is called Octane X, I think. And on May 7th, there was a big Apple event, and Apple highlighted their M4 iPad, okay? And this M4 iPad, during the event, they were showing this screen share of the iPad showing Octane. And so there's all this speculation that Apple may be partnering with the Render network to bring decentralized GPU compute to Apple users. So that could potentially be a big deal, but at this point in time, it's just speculation. However, Render RNDR has started to move higher, I think, as a result of market participants speculating on the potential future integration of Render into Apple in some way, shape, or form. So speculation there, but still very interesting. I like Render. It is one of my largest bull run bag holdings. Very, very interesting project. Number two is Fetch. So Fetch is really all about AI agents. And so AI agents are LLMs that allow you to perform actions. So you can train an agent on specific data sets and then tell it, hey, go out into the world and perform an action for me. So Fetch is also getting ready to merge. I think that this is something that's actually going to happen, right, Colin? Where they're going to merge with OpenOcean. Yeah, so, and they're going to merge with OpenOcean and with Ajax to create this ASI. And that's going to be the new token. Now, Fetch, FET, will be able to be exchanged one for one for this new ASI token. This is looking like it's going to be an AI powerhouse in the world of crypto. So keep your eyes peeled for Fetch appreciating in price. And the third one here is BitTensor Tau. This one is really, really cool. So Tau, which is the native token for the BitTensor network, which is it's its own layer one. And what they're doing is they're taking all of these different LLMs that do different actions. They're on the Tau network and they talk to one another so they can learn from each other. So very, very interesting project here with BitTensor Tau. Now, I don't think that we can underestimate the impact that projects like Render, Fetch, and Tau are going to have on this future bull cycle. We're in the bull cycle now. And I think that, we need to keep our eyes peeled for, these three assets, but also, Colin, I know that you wrote up a review of IOs. That is another one. So these are really important projects for us to be watching here. The synergy between AI and blockchain, this is the future of crypto and blockchain. So just keep your eyes peeled for any events surrounding Render, Fetch, Tau, IOs, Near, a handful of others. Really important that we watch these. Now, I'm watching flows like a hawk here. And I'm noticing that, hey, we are just beginning, we're just entering this bull cycle. So with the January 10th approval of these spot Bitcoin ETFs, all we saw from GBTC, that's the grayscale ETF, the only thing that we saw until earlier in this week was just selling from GBTC. Investors who were holding shares of GBTC when it converted to an ETF, they were, exiting, many of them for a profit because Bitcoin had run to the upside so much. So now that we're starting to see the slowing of, outflows from GBTC, I'm keeping my eyes peeled for this spot flows metric to start moving a little bit higher here. But I just want everyone to understand that the sellers of Bitcoin at these levels have really been retail investors. So it's also referred to as, lettuce hands or paper hands. You guys, we need to have diamond hands here. This is an opportunity to buy when we see dips like this. The bull cycle has just begun. And you know who's buying? Whales. Whales are buying. They're scooping up hundreds of millions of dollars of Bitcoin. So when you see the big boys buying hand over fist, don't capitulate. There's no reason to be selling your Bitcoin here. And instead, we should be viewing this as an opportunity to pick up BTC or any of your other favorite assets at a discount. So watch total net flows here. But one thing I want to just highlight here, this is a lagging indicator. So these data are old. This is typically going to be at least 24 hours old. So price is going to react before you get the total net flows figures. So we're hovering around the zero bound as of yesterday's data, but I think that we may be getting to move higher. And why do I think that? Well, with this move a little bit lower today in BTC, I'm watching this pattern here. This is a pretty textbook head and shoulders pattern, inverse head and shoulders pattern. That is a very bullish pattern, also a fairly reliable pattern. And the way that you measure this is you take the distance from what's referred to as the headline down here and the neckline right here. You add this distance to the neckline, that gives you pattern completion. Now, this is interesting to me for one very important reason. If we're able to move back up to 65K, take a look at all of the short open interest at 67K. Right now, just on the Binance futures contract, 1.55 billion US dollars in open interest at 67K. So what that tells me is if this inverse head and shoulders pattern plays out and BTC moves up towards 65K, well, you've got $1.5 billion of open interest above at 67K. And the closer we get to 67, the more likely it is that those shorts are going to have to close their position, thus triggering a potential short squeeze, which could push price significantly higher quickly. So keep your eyes peeled for that also. Now, ETH mainnet.